Hey there, welcome to No Nonsense November, day 18. Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here from the Get Up and Go Challenge, which, just to remind you, the next 30-day plus free Get Up and Go Challenge is going to be December 1st, starting December 1st, right here on the Get Up and Go Challenge page. And we will talk through and work through what we call, I'm going to reach for it, the SOAP framework, a way to guarantee that every time you're faced with a challenge or a change, you are guaranteed to be better off after that challenge or change than before you experienced it. COVID-19, if it's taught me anything, it's that we need to be open and flexible and resilient and able to respond to changes in a way that makes our life better, not freaks us out or stops us in our tracks and makes our lives more of a challenge, more difficult. So the 30-day challenge is all about not indoctrinating, but ingraining and putting in your subconscious a process for handling that to guarantee you'll always be better off. So December 1st, we'll start that. Today, we are going to talk about what makes you tick. Click, 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 just like a clock. Remember when clocks used to tick? Some still do, but for the most part, we all depend on, our Fitbits and our cell phones and things like that. So what the heck makes us tick? Our core values. Our core values are what we're going to talk about today, and it's a tool that's helped me to understand and be more accepting of who I am as I navigate the crazy waters of this thing called life. Well, what the heck are core values? Core values are our fundamental beliefs. They're our guiding principles, and you can personally have core values, but also many organizations have core values, beliefs and things that dictate their behavior. They help organizations and all the people in the organization, and us as well individually, to differentiate between what is right and what is wrong, what is good, what is bad, what is for us, what is not for us. For example, let's talk about a process of how you can come up with what your core values are. Then I'm going to actually try to read a list. There's all kinds of lists. It was really interesting when I Googled this. 4 core values, 7 core values, 12 core values, 6 core values, and they're all different lists, right? Well, whose core values are they? Wasn't clear, but then I found a nice bigger list that was more inclusive, and it's still, I didn't think included everything that other people and me and myself would consider a core value, or maybe they're just calling it a different name. The thing about naming things and using words is they mean something different to everyone. If I say, oh, that's beautiful, you might look at it and say, oh my God, that's the ugliest thing I've ever seen. If we're talking about a piece of art or painting or something, of course I'm looking around and I don't have any of those handy, but you get the idea. So what's a process we can use? And then I'm going to read you a whole list, and that'll help explain the process to go ahead and identify our core values. You may have done core value finding exercises before. You may clearly know yourself and know, hey, these are the 3 to 5 things or whatever, 10 or 20 or how many ever you want that I stand for. These are what's at the core of my being. Now, I've found that over the years doing different core value exercises that the same things come up for me time and time again. Even as I've gotten older, I started doing this probably in my 20s. I'd like to say my teens, but that'd be a lie. I wasn't self-aware at all in my teen years. And it wasn't until probably my later 20s that I got any sort of self-awareness whatsoever. And so core values, probably late 20s, 30s is before I ever even gave conscious consideration to what was important to me, what my core values were. Just, it never came up in my life. We just, so often when we're younger, we just do what we've always done. We do what our environment teaches us to do, and we adopt those same core values as everyone around us has. Well, when we get to be old enough to think for ourselves, oh my God, what a concept to think for ourselves, we can ask ourselves, well, is that really important to me? Especially with things like religion and politics. Just because our parents believe something doesn't mean it's right for us as we become mature adults. But when we become mature adults, guess what? We can make up our own rules. We can decide what's right for us and what isn't right for us. I have made a drastic change with respect to my spiritual and religious beliefs since my sudden cardiac arrest. I believe, like my mom did and my parents did up until the point that I was 50, dropped dead when I was 50. And that instantaneously changed my perspective and my beliefs and my feelings and my thoughts and my core value about spirituality and religion. So we can change them whenever we so choose. We just don't always know that we can give ourselves permission to create and do and be and have and change whatever we want. We can change what we think and how we feel and how we behave and how we respond to things in an instant whenever we decide to. We just forget that we have that personal power. So what's a process for determining what the heck are my core values. Maybe you're like me and you never thought about it and you're like, well, I know things I like and don't like, but that's a good start. First thing you want to do is you need to write down the things that you value, the things that are important to you. Is it your family? Is it your job? Is it your level of income? Is it your, maybe it's your car. You absolutely love your car. Maybe it's that you like ducks and figurines and so you collect them, or teddy bears or something. But write down what you value. Do you value, security? Do you value adventure? Whatever you value, things that are important to you. Step 2, consider people that you admire and think about what are some of the things that they value. Model people that you really love and respect and look up to and admire. Step 3, consider your experiences. Consider the past experiences. Consider what you've experienced so far and what you'd still like to experience throughout your lifetime. Step 4, categorize those values and things and try to look for relationships within those groups, what group related things together. So when I first did this, I probably wrote down 100 things that I value. Well, I can't wrap my head around 100 things, and 100 things are not the core of my being. And so we want to group those in like categories. And you'll see when I read you the big list of possible core values, you'll be like, bing, 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 bing. And you'll probably pick out 20 or 30 things that feel right to you and cue up to you that you're like, oh yeah, I can relate to that. Oh yeah, I want that. And maybe they're not something that you valued in the past, but you know that to become the person you want to be, there's a value that you want to start to make your own, to choose to be your own. Maybe you've never had any freedom in your life and you're like, oh my God, all I want to do is have freedom in my life. I want to be able to do what I want, when I want, where I want, with whomever I want, wearing whatever I want. That was one of my core values for a very long time because I was in a controlled environment. I didn't feel like I could do and be and have whatever I wanted. So identify any groups, and then step 5, look for central themes. Are there central themes that you're seeing as you group things together? And then step 6, choose your top core values. Choose a handful. Like if I think about the things that come up for me time and time again, they're things like love. Love is always one of my most basic. And if I could only pick one, love would be my absolute ultimate core value. I have my own motto is be loving, love being, be you. So love is obviously central to my personal being and sense of everything. Continuous improvement, which I don't think is on any of the lists that I looked at, is central to my being. Why? Because I grew up and studied and learned and was always looking for how things work and how to make them better. And then I applied that to myself as well. Well, how do I work? How do I function? What do I do? How do I think? How do I react? And how do I be better? How do I continually be better? Creativity is another huge one for me. I love creative, different things and solving problems and finding different creative ways and solutions to things. Trust, honesty, integrity. I didn't believe and I didn't know that those were a huge core value of mine, but some experiences that I've had in my life have shown me that commitment, doing what you say you're going to do, being true to who you are and your word are a core value of mine. So I end up with just about a handful of them. So that's the process. That's what they are. A fundamental belief that you have, a guiding principle, something that helps you to distinguish right from wrong, and it helps to dictate your behavior. If I filter every decision, every choice, every opportunity that comes my way through my core values, I will always make the best decision for me. So let me grab up my magnifying glass and let's read a list of some potential values that you could have. And then if you need to, go online, Google core values, and you can find this big list as well. If you've never done this exercise, if you've never looked for your core values, I challenge you to do this today because it will be so eye-opening and so valuable to you moving forward in your life. It makes it so much easier to decide if you're going to do something or not. If honesty, integrity, truth, and doing what's right is important to you, and you filter an opportunity comes your way and it seems a little shady or off or just feels off to you, you're going to say no to that. Even if it's the best opportunity that you've ever seen, you're still going to say no because it goes against your core values. And we can do things short term that mismatch with our core values, but long term it doesn't work and it eats away at us. I used to be involved in some businesses that didn't match my core values. They were literally soul sucking to me. Now, everybody else in that industry loved it. My ex-husband loved the industry. But to me, it didn't feel right. It ate away at me. And you know, you can make a ton of money at it, you can be super successful, which we were, but I needed to separate myself from that. As part of our divorce, I divorced myself from that industry because it didn't feel right. It didn't align with my core values. All right, so what are some core values? Let's go through a quick list. And I'm going to add a couple that I noticed weren't on the list that are actually important to me. Authenticity, achievement, adventure, authority, autonomy, balance, beauty, boldness, compassion, challenge, obviously that's one of mine now, citizenship, community, competency, contribution, creativity is one of mine, curiosity, I'm super curious too, by the way, determination, I guess I'd probably get determination, fairness, faith, fame, friendships, fun, growth, happiness, honesty, humor, influence, inner harmony, I would call that one inner peace, justice, kindness, knowledge, leadership, learning, love, loyalty, peace, pleasure, poise, popularity, recognition, religion, reputation, respect, responsibility, security, self-respect, service, spirituality, stability, success, status, trustworthiness, wealth, wisdom. I added ethics, drive, motivation, bravery, courage, freedom. I can't believe freedom doesn't make, it wasn't on. I'm trying to think if it was on any of the lists. That was the big list, but then there was hope, service, responsibility, faith, honor, trust, freedom, honesty. Oh, it's on that one. And then 7 was service, social justice, dignity, and worth of importance of the human being. Importance, worth of a person, dignity and worth of a person. So value of a human being, importance of human relationships, integrity and competence. That was 7. 6 was loyalty, duty, respect, selfless service, honor, and personal courage. I think that's probably like 6 from the Army. And then for 4, it was integrity and ethics, respect, innovation, not imitation, and then drive. I think that's probably 4 for a particular business. Another list is dependability, reliability, loyalty, commitment, open-mindedness, consistency, honesty, efficiency, optimism, and positivity. And then one more example, freedom, kindness. I put golden rule, 100% personal responsibility, and continuous improvement. So think about this today, and I will let you in on a little secret. Once a year, usually on my birthday, but some years I do it on my death day since I have a death day, but birthday or, you know, everybody does everything on New Year's Eve or right at the beginning of the year, so I like to move this one off, and I do something that I call an annual integrity audit. Now, some people call it an annual integrity report or an annual review or an annual integrity, I can't think of another term, but audit, or I like audit because I grew up in the auditing world, right? So annual integrity audit, and what that means is once a year I sit down and I review and I think about my core values, and has my behavior and the things that I've done and the situations I've been involved in for the past year, has that been in alignment with my core values? Are my core values still my core values, or is there something else that I want to add? Are there some things that I want to tweak? Are there and have there been mismatches in my core values and and how I've behaved in the last year? Now, I would have to admit that sometimes there are. Sometimes, like especially now in this politically charged environment, I have found myself engaging on social media on occasion with people that are being mean and rude and disrespectful and name calling, and every once in a while I will make a comment that I'm not super proud of. So guess what? Next March 12th, when I do my annual integrity report, I'm gonna have to fess up to that some of my behaviors aren't in 100% alignment with my, you know, my core values of kindness, continuous improvement, making the world a better place, doing what's right, things like that. So I'll have to fess up to that. And here's the good thing, is that I know that I do that once a year. And by knowing that I do that, I recognize a behavior that is inconsistent with my core values a whole lot sooner than I otherwise would. So that is it. That's core values today. I challenge you, if you've never done a core value exercise, to go ahead and just start thinking about and writing down things that are important to you. You don't have to make it a big ordeal. As you go about your business and go about your day, you can just say, oh, this situation made me feel this way. That's really important to me. It reinforces the belief I have that people should be kind to one another, right? So then maybe kindness is one of your core values. But it's a great exercise. I highly recommend, as hard as it is to be 100% honest with ourselves and write down and learn, it's one of the most valuable activities we can do is the annual integrity audit. I love auditing. I love looking at and finding examples of where I wasn't behaving in alignment with my core values and beliefs and where I was not 100% in alignment, because that's how I learn and grow and make sure that next year I am much better and I'm much more aligned and I'm much more consistent with the behaviors that I want to create in my life. All right, have an awesome day. I will be with you tomorrow with day 19 of our No Nonsense November and another fun tool that you can use to change your life right now. Take care. Bye.